Come on now. Let me go. Let me go.
Come
Connection.
on, let it go.
Mm. Okay.
Just let it be.
All right. Is it rolling?
Is it rolling?
I think it's rolling, man. Get all my crap out of the way. The more
Double
pieces of
check.
technology that you get, the harder it gets.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're rolling on Facebook, Instagram.
Just gonna wait for a couple people to jump on here.
While we do so, hey everybody, welcome back to Hunter's Vanish podcast. Today, we're back with a live, and I'm with Christy Babcock. How was your holiday? I guess two sets of holidays, Christmas and New Year. This is first live since either. So, how's your little vacation been?
Fantastic. Yeah, we did Christmas down here, not a whole lot. It was like a 85-degree Christmas probably. So, which I think that was across kind of the South and the Midwest. It was just hot everywhere. But we did end up going to Colorado to escape some of the hot temps and skied for New Year's. Funny enough, I keep complaining about the weather, but
Don't.
well, no, but in Colorado, we were talking to some guys that had lived there their whole lives, and we got there and there was like basically no snow except for the caps. And they said it was the worst early season snow they've had since like 1975 or something like that. So we got to ski a few days, but the snow was pretty terrible. So I guess we're not the only ones afflicted, but even when it's warm there, it's still like 30 degrees. So it's hard to be in a bad mood. So,
Yeah.
What about yours?
It was good. It was good, jumping around to 15 different Christmases and New Year's, and which I assume everybody's the same way. So, but yeah, no, overall it was good. Hard to get back in the swing of things. I feel like it's not only you or I that's like kind of dragging today, just because for most people this is their first day back to work in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a good holiday.
Yeah. So today, it was like 1 or 2 o'clock. I was just sitting there, just like, man, I'm about to just go home. Like, this is already getting too much for me. You just got to get back in the swing of things.
Yeah, I was ready to work. It's too much time off. I'm like, let's do something. So I'm glad to be back. But for everybody that's tuning in, thanks for tuning in. These lives, we do them. We're trying to do like one of them a week. We kind of skimped out a little bit there on the holidays while everybody was gone, but we do have several formats. We do long form episodes that we post on the YouTube and Apple and Spotify, and typically during the season we do hunt talks too. We're talking about our weekly kind of hunt recaps, which those are kind of going to die off as we lead season off here. But have you done any hunting for the last couple weeks?
Not deer hunting. I've been trying to key in on the hogs, like I said I was going to for the last 3 weeks, and I'm not going to be able to do it without bait, because the way the property's set up, it's like there's a creek, but in the timber that we have along this creek, it's just so thick. I mean, I think you've been back there a couple times, whether to help me look for a deer or shed hunting or whatever, but like what's the right word I'm looking for? It's the density of the vegetation in it, but it's not like the understory. It's like a immature growth of all different kinds of trees, and it's super thick. And I walked through there. I ended up finding a deadhead. Funny enough, again,
You always do,
dude. You brought that up the other day, which, okay, I'll just go ahead and finish my story. But I found the deadhead, so I was like, well, that's a bonus. But as I'm creeping through there, so the wind was coming out of the north, and with hogs, they don't have the best sight, they don't have the best hearing, but they do have a nose on them. So I was still trying to play the wind on them. So it was coming out of the north, and so I was working my way up through the timber. Granted, I went out in the fields, checked the fields, making sure there wasn't any black specks out there. Didn't see any, so I started just walking through the timber, and I must have just started not early enough, if that makes sense, on the property. So I kind of walked out in the field and then cut in past the OG spot. You know where I'm talking about. And then I started working my way north. Well, I got all the way up there and was just like checking out some scrapes and stuff that I seen pass, just to see if they're still hitting them or not. And long story short, they're not. But then I was working back, and I was like, well, I'll just go through the really thick stuff just to see if I can't find a shed or a deadhead or something like that. And when I did that, I was probably within 40 or 50 yards when they started like spooking up. But at this point, I was coming back, so they had the wind to their advantage too, and they just winded me, and that's all it
Did
was.
they all scatter?
Yeah, yeah. But then I was like, well, they probably don't know what I was, so I was still trying to go around them. But there was so like the leaf cover was insane on the bottom, so they were definitely hearing me before I could get close enough. And it's so thick. I had my AR-15 with me, and I wasn't a clear shot. Like I had a GoPro on it, I had a GoPro on my shoulder, then I had a GoPro on my head, and I was like,
You have
can't
3
like,
GoPros? Did you use the 360?
so I had the 360 on my shoulder, and I had the 11 right here, and then the 9 on my AR. I was decked out, but it isn't going to work unless I set out corn like out of the brush.
Yeah, that's funny. And found a
Yeah.
deadhead like we always do. Someone's
Yeah.
interested in your room here. TF Outdoors said, "What's the story with the deer in the back with the coon hat on?"
Well, I think the coon hat's pretty cool. I had it for about 5 or 6 years, if not longer, but I don't know. I just like to display it. It covers up his trash. So I don't know, but I shot that deer on the same property that I was actually hog hunting. It used to be really good, and it still is every now and then. But since the hogs have taken over, it's kind of went downhill, I guess, on the whitetail side. So yeah. Long story short, with that thing though, is I had it on camera once, and then 2 days later, without checking the camera, without knowing I had it during rifle season, it came strolling by, and I shot it. So there wasn't like a big long story on that deer, but after I shot it, one of the neighbors basically was texting me saying that that he passed that deer like 3 or 4 times, and I'm just thinking, no, you didn't, but that's neither here nor there.
Passed is an interesting term. It's like, hey, I saw that deer running one time at 250 yards. I passed him.
I don't even think it's that. Like, I don't even think he hunts 3 or 4 times a year, but it was just funny that he was like saying that, and then he ended up going on that same year and shooting a smaller one. So for what that's worth, I don't know.
What's funny about that buck is the other day I posted a clip from one of our lives, and it was talking about shooting 120-inch deer is always fun, and there was that clip, and somebody commented, "Buddy's talking about 120-inch deer, doesn't even have a 120-incher behind him." He was talking about that deer that you shot, the one with the boon hat on it.
I mean, I don't know. He'd probably be close to 120 if it didn't have like all the junk and stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
But
7 point. I mean, there's not a whole lot of tine besides all those ones on the bases. He's
yeah.
got like 20 inches of extras on the bases.
I think there's 17 scoreable points, and from looking at him right there, you can't really tell, but just all the trash underneath, it literally looks like this. So it's kind of crazy, but it was for sure a cool buck.
Yeah.
We got
Everybody's
any on
dipping on
Instagram
us.
right now?
No, everybody's just joining. Hunter Simmons said, he said shooting a 120-inch deer sounds really fun. It is pretty fun.
Did I send you that Snapchat earlier today when I was at work?
Yes. Yeah.
There was like one. Yeah, there's one maybe pushing 120, and the other ones were just kind of dinky, but there was probably like 15 or 20 deer just down in that little bottom right there. And I'm like, so that's where the whole population
little sneak
is.
one style?
About to be.
Was that over at the lake?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are them tame deer, man.
Yeah, they're tame if you have a leaf blower on, but if you just try to walk up to one without anything, they're pretty skittish. But yeah, it's kind of crazy they know the difference.
I only have one experience hunting the deer over there, and it was when I went with Justin, and the guy was like, "We got to clean some of these deer out here," and there were so many of them in this like gated neighborhood, and we would drive by them, and there'd be like 5 of them piled up, like let you drive by 5 yards away from them on the road, and then you get out and they kind of bust and stuff. But I told you the story about the dude shaking the bucket, right?
Yeah, but tell it anyway. It's a good story.
Well, just the guy who managed I think it was the HOA, told us that we could bow hunt in this spot because he wanted some doe shot. I got to draw a full draw on one that was about 40 yards, but I'm thinking if I miss this thing, I'm going to hit this dude's garage. And this is when I realized like urban hunting was not for me. And I'm thinking, no, I can't do that. And we walked up to the guy. We're like, hey, thanks for letting us come out. We really didn't get anything. He's like, oh, you guys didn't get anything? We're like, He's like, well, give me a second. Hold on a second. And he walks in with a coffee can and he scoops out a thing of food. And he's like, they really come to this. And he just starts shaking the coffee can full of like corn, and they start coming out of the bushes and over by the rocks in the lake. And that's when me and Justin looked at each other. We're like, this is not for us. And that's how tame they were. I mean, they were legit pets, which is kind of sad. Now, if it would have been a big buck, I'd have been like, well, he's just dumb. He's going to have to get shot.
If I lived over there, so I know of 2 spots that have usually pretty good bucks, and I don't know what happens to them when they just come up missing. I don't know if one of those homeowners are like shaking the bucket, come here, and then closes the garage door on them or something. But no, there's definitely some good bucks over there. But yeah, it'd be tough. It'd be tough to kind of just go up and just all of them are just sitting there looking at you, and then Becky gets shot. It's like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I would if I needed to. Sadly, we got more rural places to hunt, or gratefully. TF Outdoor said, have y'all ever hunted Western Oklahoma?
You're the Western guru here.
I've hunted Western Oklahoma. Yeah, I hunt it every year. I've got out of the 5 I have in this office, 3 of them are from Western Oklahoma. So I've shot probably about half the bucks I've shot with my bow have been in Western Oklahoma.
I wonder where this TF Outdoors is from.
Hopefully Western Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What's your Western experience?
Once, and I got 1 8-point up there. That's a Euro. I like Western Oklahoma. I think that's where all the bigger bucks are. But in your opinion, if you were to like rank in Oklahoma from all 4 corners or all 4 regions of the state, how would you rank them 1 to 4? 1 being best.
Just biggest bucks. Mm-hmm. In their current state, not what they could be.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it would go.
But dive as deep as you want to into that.
Well, it would definitely, you'd have to say Northwest is the best, just because there's a bunch of different strains of deer, and everybody knows that, like from body types to weight to how they disperse it, everything else. Northwest is definitely the biggest bodied, resemble Kansas the most. Antlers, you have a lot more mass. I just feel like they carry bigger antlers. I would say second, just in terms of antlers, not like best hunting, like where they get the biggest. I think Southeast is second. They get the biggest down, second biggest, but they don't. There's not a lot of them. There's just not a lot of deer in the hills. I really believe the deer density is like less than 20 per square mile. It's really low. And then Southwest, and then Northeast. Sadly, because I think Northeast has the potential to be just as good as Northwest, but as we know, the parcel size does not support that.
Yeah, and the places that actually do have good parcel size, like there's a place up here called Spur Ranch. I'll rat it out just because I'll never be able to hunt it. It is thousands of acres, and
it's a lot.
Megas get killed out of there all the time. Like if you go to our taxidermist, and you can immediately be like, okay, was that from Kansas? No. Okay, that's from Spur Ranch. Like 100% of the time.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to narrow out. You go in there and see 160-inch 8-point, and you know where that came from. Yeah. If it wasn't Kansas.
Mark Bruner, in y'all's opinion, will a consistent pig run a buck off a feed station? What do you got?
I've never hunted over bait. So
okay, buddy. Your nickname's Masturbator. Come on now.
I am from the South. So in y'all's opinion, a consistent pig run off a buck for sure. What's weird about that is, as many pigs as I see, I never have them consistently coming to like bait stations. And I don't know why that is. Like sometimes I'll see them from time to time in Oklahoma. I'm like, oh my God, there's 3 pigs. Here it comes. They're going to stay. And I think it's because the food is not on the ground, and it only sprays like twice a day. Then they don't stay, because when they come, it's either there's just kernels left. Like it's not like a 40-pound pile that they can like come back to. So yeah, I think they'll definitely scare a buck off a feed station. But thankfully, in my experience, just using feeders and not on the ground, it's I haven't had that problem. Like I've shot pigs from time to time, but not really consistently. Down here in Texas is a different story. If I throw out some corn, I'll definitely have some pigs on it, but just a little different. where I have feeders. What do you think?
I mean, I think if you have a feeder and if the buck's there, shoot it. And if the pig's there, you shoot it as well. But no,
It's a good
no, I
problem to
mean,
have.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I think a pig will definitely, I mean, not no matter the size too. I think they run deer off all the time. And I think they will eventually take over bedding too if you don't have a lot of bedding either. Because
Do you think
I'm
that's what
seeing.
happened on your place? Is the pigs have taken over that primary bedding?
So no, going back to the deadhead, what like you called it out the other day. Again, as soon as I walk through the thick stuff, I find another deadhead. I walk that thick stuff every single year. And every single year I pull a good deadhead off. Now, whether I think this one was probably like 2 years old or something. Because it was kind of the more thicker stuff where I normally don't even go. But since I was looking for pigs, I was just kind of bobbing and weaving. Excuse me. But this one was there. This is probably about a 2-year-old deadhead, I would think, just for how chewed up it was. But yeah, there used to be a lot more sign in there for sure bedding or deer bedding or just doe bedding. Like I would always have one or two pretty good sized doe groups, and then now I might have one. Like just because bucks used to be a problem, at least just holding bucks on there, and I would always have those doe groups. But even since especially these last 2 years, since the hog population has really been picking up in that area, my doe groups are starting to dwindle too, and I think they're just going to better cover.
Yeah, they don't have to deal with a few acres of cover that has pigs in it. They're like, I'll go to this block of 80 acres over here that's got way better cover, and I'm not going to be trampled by pigs.
Yeah, pigs are a problem, like a big problem, and that's why I was just. I mean, I know it's still hunting season here, but that's why I was walking through all of my bedding just to try to shoot those pigs. So I was like, well, it's either I try to make a dent in them now, or they're going to get even worse, which they're going to regardless. But I just try.
Yeah.
Plus, they're fun to shoot.
That's for sure. We got a few more piled up. I'm gonna knock through some of these on Instagram. Hunter Simmons said, "Why do you guys hate crossbow hunters so much?"
Who said that?
Hunter Simmons.
Dude, I'm probably going to be a crossbow hunter before here too long. So I mean, you tell me.
Gavin Ray said, "Just seeing a 120-inch buck sounds like fun." And Hunter Simmons said, "Seeing a buck sounds like fun." Yeah, 100%. Now we're talking. I don't hate crossbow hunters, but if you're an able-bodied man and you crossbow hunt, come on, man. You know what you're doing.
So what if you have like a jacked up shoulder?
I don't care, dude. I don't. If you have a physical problem, dude, no doubt. But if you're an able-bodied man who has the ability to choose what he eats and works out and work out and get steps, come on.
I agree.
They said because you need your purse with it. You need to bring your purse with it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You get it. You get it, man. Zach Gajowski said, "Do y'all think the El Nino year we have had will change the deer hunting next year?" Do you know anything about the You're the agronomist and the biologist. You tell me. What's
the El Nino year?
Yeah, is that a hotter year, Zach? Or I don't know exactly what that means. I've heard someone say that in Colorado that has something to do with the seasons. El Nino.
I'm just doing horrible at typing.
El Nino. Okay, here we go. It says that La Nina means little girl in Spanish, sometimes called. Yeah, I gotcha. A cold event. I think it's El Nino. It means unusually warm in the Pacific Ocean. The warmer water causes the Pacific jet stream to move to the south of the neutral position. With a shift, areas in the northern U.S. and Canada are drier and warmer than usual.
All right, so in English and simplified,
it is hot. Okay. It's hot. Yeah, warmer year in the south is what he said. Do you think it's going to have effect next year?
Warm. I think it would have a positive effect if what you're saying is true. I think it would have a positive effect just because it's less hard on the bucks trying to recover from the rut and stuff. Now they don't have to battle cold. And honestly, like around here, grass, there's even some grass. It's 60. It was like 68 today. And there's grass that's starting to green up. It's like fescue, like cold weather grass, but still yet, like there's some, I don't think they're hurting for forage.
I don't know if it'll change the deer hunting. When you say deer hunting, I'm just thinking of like antler potential and antler growth. I know that the bucks that were born last year their button bucks that are when it's unseasonably hot and dry, that they'll probably be stunted because I've seen biologists before that, they age bucks and say it's a 4.5-year-old. And they're like, every buck in this 4.5-year-old age class is weaker than it should be because it was born on a drought year. And I guess that's expressed in their antlers pretty harsh, because I can tell you, me and Jake Ayers have talked about this too. A lot of those bucks that I've shot in Southwest Oklahoma have like a frame of a champion. Like they have six points on one side or 7 on one side, but they're short tined. And you're like, oh my God, this is a 170-inch deer if it has any tine length, but they don't have it. And I think a lot of that has to do being in a more arid climate. They just don't express their full potential that they could.
But why would the frame be there, but yet the tine length ain't?
I think because the tine length's the last thing to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it stops, So that's something to consider is if you have a drought in 5 years, like, are your mature bucks going to be what they could be? Probably not. But what's the difference between a 135 and a 140? It's like, who cares? He's going to get shot. So that's just how I view it. But it's interesting, dude. I really think the weather, if it's not global warming, the seasonal changes are happening. And I'm telling you, from a deer satisfaction standpoint, it has really killed my vibe. Like, I hate hunting when it's hot. If I'm sweating, I'm not having a good time.
There's been I think 2 weeks here in Oklahoma where you would actually have to wear like your cold weather stuff and not just a hoodie.
Oh, because dude, I haven't
even if you go out there today. Yeah. Oh, really? That sucks.
No, it's been freaking hot. TF Outdoors said I met Seek One up in Western Oklahoma one time. It was pretty cool. I heard that he shot that giant, that public land buck, that 188 in Western Oklahoma, which that's not a secret. I mean, I think that's kind of been spread. Let's do one on Instagram, and then we got some more piled up here. Hunter Simmons said the real issue I have with crossbows is they don't know they're missing when it comes to shooting one with a compound. Don't know what they're missing. They do not. Yeah, they do not.
Because most of the time you miss the deer. So
here's one. Josh Vire said, by the way, I think he has the Boundary Paradox, I think is his page, because I watched one of his
I was going to say hunts. That name sounds very familiar.
I watched several of his hunts, and he does a good job putting this together. He said, be cool to hear you guys talk about your growth, landing, and navigating outdoor industry deals like brand deals, etc. Also, how y'all get in touch with outdoor personalities to get them on the pod. Jacoby?
All right. I'll cover the second one. You can cover the first one. How do y'all get in touch with outdoor personalities to get them on the pod? So what we do is we send pigeon mail to them specifically. But no, we just DM them on Instagram, Facebook, and like a lot of the old timers, like not calling anyone old, but if they're not too active, like they might post on Instagram and stuff, but there's a lot of people you might have to send an email, like going through if they have a consulting business or something like that. Send like a podcast invitation explaining everything on that and or Facebook. I feel like those are the easiest ones to get the old timers, but for anyone that's kind of like younger and kind of know how social media works and stuff like that, TikTok DM or an Instagram DM does just fine.
Agreed. Yeah, I think there's nothing better than sending someone an email where they think they're going to get business and it ends up being a guy asking for something. So that's what we do constantly. Landing and navigating outdoor industry deals like brand deals. If you get that figured out, let me know. Because that's still haven't figured that one out. Have been lucky to have a few good relationships with some companies. So that's pretty much the only way that I've ever seen is just having a relationship with people. But brand deals and everything like that, it's amazing, but it's also an obligation. Like you don't get. It's not like we're Waddell or T-Bone or someone where it's like, hey, I'll just pay you to be associated with you. It's more of work to pay, or you do work, we pay. So there's deliverables and stuff. But no, I think it's just relationships at the end of the day.
I think the only thing. I think it's a lot more broad into everything. Like even not in the outdoor industry or anything, it's all about who you know. Like if you know the right person to get you in this spot or has a little bit of insight into this and they might know somebody else, it's like it's all about who you know in it, like at the end of the day.
I agree. Gavin Ray said, "Would you guys ever consider hunting Georgia?" Georgia?
I think it's pretty kind of low on the list. I'm not below it or above it, but yeah, it's pretty low on the list, I think. Out of like all the western species you could chase, and then also Kansas being such a short drive, Georgia would be like, all right. And still yet, I think I'd go with Missouri or Arkansas before Georgia. Just because I feel like they're about not Missouri, but maybe Arkansas and Georgia might be the same caliber. I'm not 100% on that, but still yet, it's like you could probably get the same hunting, if not better, closer. I could be wrong though. People kill tanks in Georgia all the time. What do you think?
I think I'm kind of headed the other direction, which is west, because if you have Texas and Oklahoma, you got Kansas stacked, and on top of that, you got Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri. Iowa and Kansas are definitely both top 5. So I don't see a need to go super east, and then all of the adventure hunts are out west. So it's not that I don't want to. It's just like if I did this full time and I was like hunting all the time, maybe, but it's hard to give up your home state in Kansas to go somewhere else to deer hunt. You kind of got enough right there. Because if you kill 3 good bucks in a year, you just need to pull the lucky charm out of your butt. So maybe. The answer is maybe. Zach said, yes, it's a warmer year in the South. That's what
El Nino.
Mason is El Nino. Oh, okay. He's a little girl.
That means aunt, I think.
Someone that speaks Spanish is like, this hurts. I'm moving on.
Nina's.
It is. I think it is.
That's aunt.
Mark Brunner said.
That means girl, little girl. You're right.
Or Brunner has said, have y'all ever been on Cross Timbers, WMA? Have you ever been to Cross Timbers?
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I don't think so. Have you?
I have drove by the sign.
Basically scouting it.
Yeah, I've e-scouted.
Yeah.
No, I've never been to Cross Timbers. I have not.
Is that down southeast?
Yes. Wait. I think so. I believe so.
If that answers your question.
Yeah, that tells you how much I know.
Yeah. No,
100%.
we have like I think a range of like 3 to 5 scattered throughout the state that we like to hit, and that ain't one of them. It's not because it's no good. There could be monsters on there. It's just we haven't been. Once you get that historical kind of like that historical data of being in a place for so long, it just makes you want to go back. Because it's like, well, worst comes to worst, I can check out this. But last time I was there, I want to go check out this spot. And then if there's an area with a couple thousand acres, it's like you got a lot to explore.
So me and Jared have been doing he's super into the Western stuff now. And we've been doing like a weekly call, which we get on maybe a couple times a month to just talk about Western hunts. And he wants to go do the Colorado antelope thing again, like next year, and maybe sit water holes and do some more spot and stock, but basically make it a longer trip. So we're not just there for 2 days trying to like sling. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we were talking about today, like you just said, is that historical knowledge. If I've been to a place, even if somewhere else is better, I feel like a lot of comfort in being like, well, I know how this lays out. And last time there was a deer there, or there were 4 goats there. And and then if you can go year after year after year, I think that's how you get better and really learn a place, because I think every area is a little different. And if you just go to this one year and then this one the next and then this one, you don't really ever learn one of them. And now there's areas on a piece of public that we hunt that I'm like, that's 300 yards off the road. I know it's good. Like I've seen a lot of deer there and killed deer there. So like I can go back to that well. So I think you can do that anywhere, by the way. I think you could just pick a WMA and be like, this is the one I'm going to hunt and figure that out.
Me and Dakota has been talking about this, because where we like to hunt is a little bit further away than where we've been hunting a little bit closer to the house. You know where I'm talking about. I don't want to give away anything or name drop. And that's what he was saying. He was like, man, it probably looks the same. He's never been down there, but he's like, it probably looks the same, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, from OnX, it looks pretty rugged, pretty mountainous. And it is, but that was my main driving point, where because I kept telling him, dude, if I have a free chance, I want to go down there. You know, if Justin and Jordan or someone else is down there, you know, to go with, like, I want to go down there. And then he just kept being persistent, and I went to that place closer, like 1 or 2 times, and then I was like, dude, I can make this place home really quick, just because it like felt the same, like hunting wise. Like, it's still, you're still chasing the mountain bucks, but also it's a lot shorter drive. I can be home, you know, and sleep in my bed at night, so that's cool. But like, whenever the thing is like, yes, but you also just have to hunt the place to get to where you can call it home. Because now I haven't hunted that place as much as I wanted to, and I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but I'm just going off on a detour. But like, I haven't hunted that place as much as I wanted to. But just from my like few times I've been there, I already have 5 different places that I want to check out this summer and hang cameras, which I already got.
Or shed hunt.
Shed hunt for sure, because you've seen that one that was on camera. I don't know if you sent it to Mason or what, but
I sent it to you.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
That freaking 8-point.
He's a tank.
That was probably I think he was pushing 40 as an 8, like a big 8, like framing.
I'd like to see him from the side just to see how like his tine length or his main beams, but yeah, he was a monster. But
I wrote, so me and Lauren wrote our goals, and we like put them in like 7 categories, you know, like career, spiritual, financial, whatever, health. I have a hunting goal list, and I'm not going to share it on here because I want to refine it a little bit. But one of my goals is to find 40 sheds this spring, because
40?
Yes,
brother,
the most I've ever found is like 17.
Yeah, 18. But that was at like Jesse's, wasn't it?
No, I went with Jares and found like 11 one weekend. But my goal is to find 40 sheds this spring, because I know if I have that as a goal, I will postseason scout like an MF. Like, that would be a good postseason scouting. That's a lot. That's a lot of sheds.
I also like how Lauren probably has like, you know, good like things to bring you forward and like good goals, and you're over here like, I just want to find some sheds, bro.
Sorry. That's a hunting goal. Thank you, T Ford Outdoors, for the dono. I feel like I'm a live streamer.
Hey.
That's sick. Thanks, man. Zach Kajasi said, like, I don't think that will affect buck shedding early, but maybe more forage. Like, I wonder if populations didn't go down as much. Oh, he's talking about the weather.
Mm-hmm. No, I think he hit it. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
T Ford said, I also met T-Bone at a Bass Pro one time. Dude, you're running into everyone.
I might meet T-Bone.
I know, dude. I'd love to have him on the pod. He's like an archery guru.
Cool.
Cross Timbers is good, so I hear through the grapevine. Didn't hear it from me. J-Dog Ski, do you think cell cameras transmit a frequency that mature bucks can detect and will avoid? And if so, do you think regular SD card trail cameras are better? What do you think?
I feel like that'd be a good I feel like that'd be a good topic for one of those biologists at Texas A&M or something.
What do you think, though?
Do they transmit a frequency that a deer can hear? I don't know.
Maybe not hear, but like feel.
I want to think so, because I've had, and it could just be a smell thing, you know, plastic, or because I'm sure plastic smell doesn't really go away, just those molecules. So
plastic doesn't really have a smell. I know you don't know that.
Yes, I'm horrible about this. But to you, but would it to a dog or a deer?
I don't know.
See, that's what gets me, because you do, like, I'll have a cell cam out for months at a time, and then for some reason there'll be a doe or a buck or something that has its nose this close, and you just get a picture of the eyeball, and you're like, okay, is he checking out the camera because it looks like, you know, like tree cancer? Is it because he smelled it, or is it because of some weird frequency? I don't know, so I don't really want to say, because I think it could be one of the 3 or all 3, but for a frequency, I mean, I think it's possible. What do you think?
I think there's definitely something there with like the cell aspect of it, because it's transmitting, whereas a regular SD camera is just like snapping a photo. Because even the SD cameras that we run on public, the one, you remember those old Wild Game Innovations, like they'd have a glow red, like you'd walk through and you just see it go red and take a picture of you. That's something from a visual perspective, but I think there is something to the cellular part of it that they can detect, because there's certain bucks that you do not get good pictures of, or if you get pictures of them, you see them like in the background with other deer. And there's been bucks before that I've seen like that are in other groups, but I'll never get pictures of them by themselves. And I think it has something to do with that. But I feel like that'd be really hard to quantify and to test. You just put them there and see if they'll walk around them in a pen or something. I don't know. It's interesting. I think there's something to it, but the pros so outweigh the cons that it's like, who cares if they scare off mature bucks and there's like a buck that never walks in front of them and he happens to be a big one that surprises you. Great. That's awesome. Mark said southwest of Ardmore for cross timbers. Okay, here's one for you.
Cody Haas, it's time to get that antelope monkey off your back, Christian. LOL. Let's get after it this fall.
Look at that profile picture. It's a big antelope,
that dude. Yeah,
big old antelope. This is an antelope slayer. Old Cody. He sends me some pictures just to rub it in.
So when you and Jake get on these calls, is that your all's plan? Just solely is just the water holes, and you're just gonna try to ride it out like that one lady was in the blind around that water hole we seen?
I don't
because that seemed like a very boring and depressing way to hunt, because here we are seeing country, seeing the antelope, and she's like, all right, I want to sit here for maybe a week at a time just to get one shot.
Well, I mapped it out today, and on like 4,000 acres, I found 15 water holes because they run the cattle on the same places. And I'm thinking, what are the odds that I picked the right water hole?
Yeah.
And without the cattle coming in and like knocking over my blind or whatever. And I've kind of chalked it up to, I'd probably rather lose 6, 7, 8 arrows shooting at them and spot and stalk than waiting and being like, dang, I never even had one come in.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of my thoughts.
I think if we fine tune the arrow setup now, I know we talked about it last year, but we had a lot going on this early fall. But I think if we're able to shoot 120 yards, I think if just from what we learned the last 2 days and what we saw, I'm pretty convinced that as long as they don't like pick you off where they see you 4 foot over the grass, if they catch movement and you just lie there dead, I think that after about 15 minutes of them looking and kind of walking around, I think they're going to bed back down. And I think that's when you move closer. And eventually it's going to be a long stalk, but I think that is how you're going to kill it without a decoy or anything.
But I don't know if you have the decoy on your bow and you're planning on using the decoy. I don't know how it's such a, like, even on the ground parallel, it's like this high. And so that's the only thing as you're like crawling through, that decoy is going to be. So it's kind of like you have to either pick, okay, I'm going to use the decoy like this, or I'm going to just try to be pretty undetected. In my opinion, being undetected in antelope country, that's like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Like, they're watching you the whole time. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Because to use a decoy, it's just going to have to be that perfect scenario where you just kind of come over a ridge and you're able to just flash the decoy immediately. And it's going to be like, okay, all I got to do is work my way in. It's
going to buy you 10 seconds or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know a good way. You're just going to have to like just find the right predicament and just get lucky. I don't know.
Or sling enough, and
unless you're Cody Haas, and then you can just kill monsters, but that ain't us.
That ain't me. 107 said, how do you casually bring up to your wife that you want to spend a lot of money and leave her for a couple weeks to hunt out west?
What's that old saying? Ask for forgiveness.
Not permission.
Not permission. Yeah.
See, I think the issue that you had there is casually. Hunter, you don't casually bring that up. You do casually bring it up, and the response is not going to be casual. It's going to be angry. But you have to be the adult in the room, man, and just be really calm. I don't know about the money part. I guess have the money saved up already. Say your grandpa gave it to you or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me know if you figure it out because I need a system myself.
Or just go in with a buddy and then whatever your wife doesn't like about it, you just say, well, Christian's the one that planned it. I had no say until everything was already booked. And then that way they're just mad at each other. Like Lauren probably hates me and Abby probably hates Christian, but it's a good system.
But
And
we love each other.
It's worked so far.
You just pin your spouse on your friend.
Exactly. That's what we're here for.
I don't even want to go. He just wants to go and didn't want to go alone, babe.
Yeah.
I might have used that one before. Gavin Ray, if you have the right place to hunt in Georgia, it's been good. It's good. Been after $2 over 130 this season in 2024. Had $4 around 135 to 150. You had a much better year though than we did. So maybe Georgia's our issue. Here's one for you, Jake. Try to read the name too.
No. Sounds like that sounds like a demon name.
This person's fixing to do jihad.
Orgzon Hezanov. So it's like a Hindu Russian.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And what they say?
Something Donnie off the Wild Thornberry says.
Ask I don't know. Yeah, that was a bombing on the keyboard. Here you go.
Cody Hawes, Mr. Whitetail himself, Larry. Larry could probably help y'all with
I just gave Jake
question.
I just gave him the two worst names, and he's like,
Larry Wisehead. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I'm pretty sure we're 50th now in education, but let's try to get 51st.
That's so sad. Well, when Venezuela comes to state, maybe you guys will be above them. Oh.
Whoops.
Shitehead 7839 said, did you see the video on how spooking deer on purpose? I have not. Is that a drone video? I feel like that's a drone video, spooking deer on purpose. It kind of have to be.
It's called pushing them during rifle season, walking them out. Deer drives.
Hunter Simmons said, be calm and tell her she's being unreasonable and gaslight her into it. Exactly, man. Exactly.
I think that'll work.
That's called rage bait.
Just make sure you're right with God before you do that.
Mm-hmm. Make sure she takes her ring off before she swings.
Zach. So I have a theory where these deer know what day it is. Heck, I had 2 bucks show up this morning in the daylight that I haven't seen in months. At least they made it through rifle season. Or
they know when season is and where the pressure always is.
Is Texas rifle season still going on?
Texas is done. They're the North season. They're not the rifle. The whole season, bow season, rifle season, everything.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It ended. So, do you think deer? You think they know what day it is?
I think during rifles or like during hunting season when it's in full swing, I think they 100% do. I think they know the difference between a weekday and a weekend just from the amount of pressure. But and they probably get on the clock. But for this late in the year, I don't know.
I think there's something to seeing like the increased amount of like headlights and traffic from the roads and everything. I think that's part of it too. Like on a piece of public at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you just see, woo, 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 woo. I think that's part of it. But I don't know if they can perceive what day it is.
Here you go.
Hold on. Boom FIFA 4971 viewer. What a pointless podcast this is. You sound like a really cool person, man. That guy sounds like someone you want to hang out with. I love your profile picture, by the way. That B. That's such a good profile picture. Thanks, man. I bet you're overweight. If I had to guess.
I bet you he probably has 4 chins.
Boom Fida for I love those, dude. Those are the best. Thanks, man. And you're the one viewer. What a pointless life you live. Thank you.
Oh goodness.
I love that. Okay. TF Outdoor said, what kind of bows do y'all both use? Jacoby?
I got the V3, Matthews V3, and currently it's sitting there with the quiver full of no arrows because I have 0 arrows left.
You don't have any?
I got 2 hanging up with like a graveyard of old arrows, and I think I put them up there for a reason because I think they're cracked or something. Tips why I didn't throw them away, I don't know, but I know for sure. I think one of them's like cracked at the tip, and I just put them up there just to put them up there. But yeah, it's not looking too good for next year, I should say.
Yeah, gonna need a new arrow order. Zach said depression season until shed season. The thing is,
what do you shoot?
Oh, I lift X. So they just came out with the ARC, so last year's model of the Matthews. Freaking screamer. Thing hits hard. Zach said depression season until shed season. Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be. That's the thing though, man. I know the deer hold on to their racks until like March, but the good thing is when all the grass is dead, I mean, freaking it's gonna be growing back in like a week, as hot it is. While all the grass is dead, you can find the sheds from last year because, dude, 90% of the sheds that I find are just the ones that I didn't find last year. I rarely find like freshies. I find like a few a year. It's mostly like last year's. So, yeah. But I do have that. I have that probably mid 40s 9-point that was on that piece of public over here by my house, and it's my goal to find his match set because he was on that camera a bunch this fall. So
since your season's technically over, you could do some hog hunting now.
I can start hog hunting and I can start shed hunting. Yep,
that'd be good.
That's what I'm gonna do
because you might as well do both. Like it's.
I'm putting my bow on my back.
Yeah,
I always run into the pigs when I'm shed hunting because I get in those like nasty drainages and like mud pits along the lake, and dude, they're all over the place in there, and I always run into them. So I'm bringing the bow. Mark said oddly had one haven't seen in a while come in today in Texas. Oh, sick. Yeah, not happening for me. I thought all my cell cams died because the pictures have been pretty much nothing.
Has the lease? Does the 110 still have the camera going on that?
2 cameras? Just those, pretty much.
That's it?
Pretty much. I mean, every once in a while there'll be a, like a coal buck, but nothing to call home about.
I don't think you'd tell me if there was a slammer on there.
I would, because I'd be hunting him.
Oh.
Just kidding. Mark St. Martin II, longest record holder, longest name. Howdy boys, can't stick around for an answer. What age do you think is proper youth age to now hunt? I know draw weight is a main factor, but I'm just curious. My 10 and 8-year-old have started shooting the bow. Ooh, what do you think?
I think if you're against crossbow hunting, like so Dakota, one of my buddies, he has 2 daughters, and dude, I'm poor both ages. I don't even know how old my own nephews are, but his oldest daughter is like, I think 6, 7, something like that. And they take the shut up. They take the crossbow out there, and that's what he uses. And I'm pretty sure she might have shot at a doe or something with the crossbow, but I mean, which they have it on the little tripod stand, and it's basically sitting there where all she has to do is just pull the trigger. But if you're wanting them to be a vertical bow, I mean, I think as soon as they're old enough to like pull one back, it's like send them out in the woods.
Proper youth age to now hunt. I mean, I would say as early as they're interested in it. Like, I think some kids always want to go and some kids could care less, but that's one thing is I don't want to like push it on my kid. So, but one of the things that does kind of turn me off a little bit, I mean, it's your life, live it how you would, is like when I see like a 4-year-old shooting a 180-inch buck with a crossbow. There's something about that
for us, though. Dude.
I know, but that's something. There's something about that I'm like, that kid doesn't even know what that is. Like, can't appreciate what that is at all. Now I get it though. I get why you would want your kid to do that. But
so like my brother's kid, his oldest, he shot a 7-point, I think last year or this year. I forget. No, it was last year. And then he shot at a 7-point with it like I think Ira made him use like a 223 just because it wouldn't kick, and that they weren't able to find it. But like, it kind of broke my heart a little bit because he sees like, Ira has a couple good bucks. He's over here sometimes. I'll watch him for the day, and like they'll play PlayStation or whatever. But he'll see like some of my bigger bucks, and then whenever he looked at his like 7-point, it was just Baskerville 7, just like any 5-year-old should shoot or 6-year-old should shoot, and he's just like, how come how come mine ain't big? And that's exactly what he said. And I was just like, he don't need to be saying that. Like that like would put a dagger in you. So
if he would shoot a 180, he wouldn't have to worry about it.
That is true. That is true. But I think them, like, just that mindset. I don't know. I don't have a kid yet. I got one on the way, and obviously he ain't gonna be hunting for a very long time. But like hearing that from like my own nephews, it's like I think that's where that itch and that desire comes from, to try to like better. Well, how come mine ain't like that? When they see the potential, and like there's other people in the family or friend group or whatever that's like that has this experience, meaning like, racks to show for it or whatnot. It's like they can see that, and then they can be like, oh, I want that because that looks cool, and that's what got my uncle excited or his buddy excited or anything like that. And it's just like it's there's more to it than just like a big rack in a way. And so like I think it has a lot to play into that.
Yeah, that is interesting. Because I remember when I always looked up to Justin because he was always hunting bigger and bigger deer, and he went to Kansas and shot a low 150, so like a 24-inch wide 10-point one time. And I remember him sending me a picture over myself. Like, this is when like you do like flip bones, you had to download pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember downloading it and being like, holy crap. He just shot like the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life, and him bringing it back and it just being in a trash bag and being that wide. And I'm like, I mean, I remember thinking like, that's the biggest deer that's ever existed. And now I've shot bigger deer that's probably not, they're not framed that big, but score more than that. And it's just like seeing that though, that it's possible makes you want to like get better and better and better. And that's like a long process, but I think it's hard if you let a kid shoot a giant buck for his first one, because then it's like, well, where do I go from here? There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
But I don't think that's the reality for most people.
No, but it is in the Midwest. A lot of people in the Midwest that have good farms. It's not for us.
Yeah, I mean, no,
you're not going to see a buck on our place that you want to pass or anything like that.
No. Oh yeah, that'd be a good one for Colton or Kate. No, that's a good one for me.
Yeah. Aaron Cordy said, when did deer lose their antlers here in PA? They dropped already, but we found a roadkill muley last week in Colorado, and they were impossible to kick off. Oh, interesting. I would say the majority of them like late February to March.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see some, dude, like turkey season used to open like April 6th, and there were still deer. I remember still seeing deer with like a side turkey hunting. So
I would say the first and second week of March is like when if you still had cameras running, that's when you see those, just those flat spots.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, anyone can outdoors on Instagram said, "Hey brother, what's up, man? Long time no see. Good to hear from you." Where were we?
So I'm trying to find.
Okay. Zach said, so I can't remember if I asked y'all, but do y'all find them in the same spots year after year? Is he talking about sheds or deer?
I think so. No, I think sheds.
Probably the wrong person to ask about sheds, because my best year is like 17 or something like that. But the place where my mind goes with shed hunting is, where is this antler going to get knocked off if they're walking by? And I just look for like the thickest, nastiest bedding and travel corridors. There was one time I was crawling through a briar thicket. Like I literally had to get on my hands and knees, and I was crawling, and I turned back to like look where I'd come from, and I saw a freshie just sitting through like the briars, and I was like, yes. And I just crawled back and got it. So that's what I always think about is, well, if this deer's walking through here, what's going to knock it? And I always think about bedding areas. That's the only place I shed hunt. I know you can find them on like wheat fields or pastures or whatever, but that's not where I find them.
Right, but year after year, like, do you think they're in the same spots?
Sure.
Have you ever had a buck that um you found their sheds and then the next year it was the same sheds but just a little bit bigger?
Dude, I've never found sheds off a buck that I killed. Never. Not once. I don't have a Carol killed an 8-point on the lease, across the river from the lease, and we found his sheds 2 years later from the year before he killed him.
That's pretty cool.
And that was pretty cool because he went and like matched it up on that one side. I don't have a single buck in here that I'm like, oh, dude, look at this set. This is him the year before. I would like to have some history with a buck and then eventually kill him, but
we almost did that on rattlesnake. There's that one that had like the freaking 13-inch G2s, and then people like to shed hunt
converge
in front of you.
For sure.
They're just like, oh man, I found this one just 50 yards up here. And it's like, it's crazy. We dropped you off a mile over there and here you are in front. But
that won't happen again.
Yeah.
Aaron said 6'7". Exactly.
I've never seen that before.
Jadowski said, what do you think about the ass shot with the beast broadhead? Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
I think it was Sarah Bomar shot a buck basically completely not even quartering away, just facing away. But when they're looking away and they give you one more look of just despair before they run off, and he was rubbernecking, and she shot him basically in the right rear hindquarter. And
so this deer is
completely facing away. Yeah.
Wow.
Shot in the right rear hindquarter, and I think like went all the way up to the heart. Pretty much got everything. I don't like the idea of it, but when it happened, it worked out perfectly. So it's hard to, I guess, argue with that.
Results.
I wouldn't. Is it a shot that I would take? Probably not. But God, it worked.
It depends how big. Let's be honest.
If you had a 200 completely facing away, would you put one in his right rear hindquarter if he was rubbernecking you?
Was it on the 110?
Just anywhere. Just anywhere. You're not going to see him again.
Yeah. Like if it's like a public scenario or even my private, for sure. But if it was somewhere that like, y'all's 110 or something like that, that's the only place I wouldn't if I had the opportunity to possibly see him again. But yeah, no, if it's just like on public, I'm taking the Texas hard shot for sure.
20 yards.
Yeah.
I think with like a single bevel or something, you probably would penetrate a ton. And I wouldn't. It's not a shot you would want to take.
But horrible topic and horrible advice. But
I'm not telling people to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw it though. Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if he would. The fellow that brought this up.
Here's one for you.
Officer, hey fellas, either of you ever see a Bigfoot while out hunting? Have you ever had a Bigfoot encounter, Christian?
Yeah.
Besides Justin.
If you go to deer camp, you sleep in the same camper as mine. I'm not kidding. Justin's one of those guys that if he didn't shave, he would have hair from his eyebrow to his feet. And he has no like distinction between his back hair and his neck. Like it's just one carpet. So I do know a Sasquatch, yes. But no, when I lived in me and my parents lived in McAllister for a little bit, and then Tallahena, Oklahoma. And Tallahena has it has like a Bigfoot 5K. Like it's down in the mountains and they believe in Bigfoot, but no encounters. I would definitely shoot one if I saw it.
What's been your creepiest encounter in the woods?
I don't know if I've had any like really creepy encounters in the woods. I haven't like walked up on a mountain lion or a bobcat, or I'd just say the creepiest thing ever for me was being in Kodiak up on that mountain and feeling like one was going to come down the trail. That was probably the creepiest for me, or seeing those big bears and thinking about them. Do you have one that's creepy in the whitetail woods? I mean, I feel like for me, knowing that there's only black bears where we hunt, I'm like, it's a black bear. Like, who cares?
Well, I agree. Like Kodiak, if I would have like really thought about it, especially when we were up there spike camping, like no bear fence or anything like that, like I just didn't let myself think about it because I was just like, I'm just going to go to sleep and like whatever happens, happens. And luckily, nothing happened. Or I guess not luckily, by the grace of God, nothing happened. But so there was just one time I wasn't able to drive yet, like 12, 13 years old. And I was hunting over there at Ketchum. And this is before really anybody lived there. And I think my dad might have lived over there at the time. I'm not 100% sure. But I was walking from I guess that left side of the 80 to the right side of the 80. But when I did that, I drove the four-wheeler like around to where Ira's house is now, so and parked
Mhm.
up there, and then I just took the road back and went to that old house that my dad's in. And but I was 12, 13, something like that. Well, the four-wheeler we just wouldn't start. And so I was all the way back in this 80, and I walked all the way back to the four-wheeler. It didn't start. So instead of walking through head high grass and stuff, I just took the road down. And then it's an old dead end dirt road, and it wasn't super maintained like it is right now. And as I was going down to the gate and climbing over the gate to go to my dad's house where the truck was, I heard something like pitter pattern like behind me, but it was along the fence line where it was super super thick. And I was like, at first I was like, okay, it's Ira, Brody, someone trying to like scare me because they were all just down there. And then so like I was talking with them like, y'all can come out, like it ain't funny, like, and then I started walking a little bit faster because whenever I stopped, it stopped. And then I finally got over the gate and started walking, and there's a pretty good, couple 100-yard driveway. And finally it stopped, but then it started like just sound like something dying. It was bad. It was like scream die type of thing. And I was 100% convinced that it was one of them. So I just didn't think anything of it. And then when I got all the way back to the house, everybody was there. And I was just like, what the heck did I hear? And so I didn't have time to get freaked out because I thought it was one of them, but it wasn't. And so after that, I was like, I'm not going back out there.
What do you think it was?
I don't know.
A mountain lion or something?
I don't know. So my mom thinks that we heard a mountain lion before. This was a completely different time, but it was back behind her house at Dustin's by the buddy stand. And I think it's my first year bow hunting. So I could I could drive. I was, I think, 16 years old. So like at this time, like I know kind of what a mountain lion sounds like. I've listened to them on YouTube and stuff like that. Like my uncle's seen some out, like they're around these parts for sure. And I was out there hunting, and again, I only have like my dad's old PSE bow and stuff. And I hear it sounded like a lady screaming, and it was just kind of like more towards the creek. And it was so loud, my mom heard it from where her house is because she was like out on her back porch or something. And as soon as I heard that, like I didn't have a gun, didn't have a phone or anything at that point. And so I just got down and immediately just like I booked it as fast as I could all the way back to the house. And my mom was like, I was about to drive out there because I heard a scream. I didn't know if that was you or what happened. She said, I thought you got one, but that's the only reason I didn't go out there because maybe you're just hooting and hollering. And now, like to this day, you could call her and ask her. Like she was like, "Yo, no, yeah, I heard it too." And like after we got back, and I was like, "No, I don't know what that was." And then she talked to her brother, and he was like, "No, I bet you that was like sounded like a mountain lion."
I know they're out there because Justin's ex-girlfriend shot at one that was in a tree.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I know they're out there. Which there's, you've seen the studies. They're super transient. Like they go hundreds of miles. So I'm sure they exist. TF Outdoors said I was 6 years old when I shot my first deer, and it was with a crossbow. But as soon as I turned 10, I started using a compound, and it's all I use now. Dad says crossbows are for sissies. You have a great father.
He's a very strong father figure.
Mark St. Martin said had to come back and comment because of a previous comment. Don't listen to the haters talking about views. You guys do a great job. Keep it up. Thank you, Mark. As you can see, that guy commented one time and is gone.
I bet his wife really, really likes him.
Sounds like a pleasurable guy.
I bet she has a great relationship with everybody he's around.
Yeah, I bet his boyfriend's pissed he's watching this. Fired a crossbow at age 2. Yep, Jerome Bettis. I feel you there.
Heck of a football player.
Thank you for tuning in, Jerome. Cody House said, when I was a kid, there was a 14-year-old age limit, even accompanied with adult. The year I turned 14, I finally got to shoot a deer. Kansas did away with the age restriction the very next year. Go figure. Oh, I think he's talking about, deer hunting. Yeah, with the age restriction. I don't know if there is age restriction in Oklahoma. I know like PA, you got to be 12 to hunt deer, which is kind of.
I think in Oklahoma, you just have to have your hunter safety course or be. Do you have to have a hunter safety course or just be escorted?
No, you have to have a hunter safety course. Yeah. And I think you might be able to hunt on your own after that. Be a man. Morgan Mosley said, do you have any deer out right now?
They're still walking at like 2 a.m. We've seen a good buck on camera on one of the public spots, but as for like the private ones, you said you only had kind of does and maybe a few dinks and
some culls.
Yeah.
Like 110-inch cull, something like that.
And I just now walked out my whole private. Ain't got
so it's hot. Aaron Cordy said, don't know about Bigfoot, but walking out from deep in the dark or spike camping out west gets a little spooky at night. When you're all alone. How
much different would that be for you if like you were to do Kodiak by yourself?
Oh, I'd have several guns. I'd have at least for one hand. I'd adapt one where you could shoot it with your toes too. So I'd strap in my feet. No, the out west stuff where there's mountain lions doesn't necessarily like scare me, or black bears. I think the Kodiak thing really sketched me out. It changed everything down here. Now when I am camping out in Oklahoma public, it's like, dude, there's going to be the crackhead is your worst nightmare. It's not an animal. So maybe out west, like I know Wyoming has grizzlies and stuff, so that would be super sketchy. But if anywhere there's just like black bears and stuff, it doesn't really sketch me out. But the Kodiak thing definitely did. That was sketchy.
Would you be able to do any solo like that?
I think I could in places that weren't grizzlies for sure. Like Colorado, that is one of my dreams, is to do a solo backcountry, like mule deer or elk hunt and kill something by myself. Just I think it'd be cool to cleanse your mind for a week, by yourself. Yeah. I think that would be kind of cool.
I just don't know if I could get over like the safety aspect, because it's like the whole time I'm hunting, like if we go out west, I just know that I can run faster than you. And so like that puts me at ease.
Is that right?
And so if I'm by myself, it's like, dang, I'm kind of like, there ain't no one to outdo here.
It's like that. It's like when you got a bass chasing your lure, and the faster you reel, the faster they move. They're going to see you and be like, dude, that guy's getting away. I'm going to get him. I don't want this unathletic guy. He's going to taste better. Aaron said PA change. You can do youth mentor at any age till 12 to get your license. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Let's see if we got any more on Instagram. No more on Instagram. This might be might be a short live for us. The people have spoken.
Hey, I understand. There's a Thunder game on right now. And after the loss we had last night, to be fair, the refs, we already talked about it briefly, but
yeah,
the refs were absolute dog. And I know that, I don't even know his first name, but Brooks on the Suns,
Dylan
Brooks. If he ever listens to this, I think he's the biggest punk out there in the NBA.
Well, the Thunder are currently losing 64-48 to the Hornets.
Shut up. No way.
Yes.
68-48?
64-48.
Are we playing like, are we not starting anybody?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Our B squad should be able to beat the Hornets.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess May and June got a little, I told myself I've been to a playoff game. The last 2 years I've been to a home playoff game, one each year. I think we're definitely gonna make the playoffs, but the title contention, we're 6-5 the last 11 games, so it's not looking nearly as good as it was when we were 24-1.
I know.
So
yeah, but then again, like if we're playing for the chip, we don't have to win every single one of them. Should we have won last night? For sure. But if we only lost by 2, and the amount of free throws that they had available to them, that the refs gifted them,
they shot like 30 free throws.
Yeah, dude. One of the Suns players had more free throws than the whole OKC team combined.
Perfect.
Yeah. So if that tells you anything, dude, it just upset me so bad last night. So bad. But yeah, it is what it is.
We can field a couple more of these on Instagram, and then we'll call it a night. Gavin T. Ray said, I got a story shed hunting last year on some WMA 10 miles away from the truck in the swamp at night with no light. Real smart, I know. Had coyotes sounding off and a pig fighting near me. I've never moved so fast in my life. LOL. Yeah, I do. I'd be doing the same thing. Pigs in the dark. Pigs in the dark are sketchy. And then Hunter Simmons said, do you guys watch Brokeback Mountain on your trips?
We usually like to reenact it, not necessarily watch it. So
print out the screenplay and bring that with us. The script, Morgan Moses, what bow do y'all hunt with? Jake's got a V3 and I have a Lift X. So both the Matthew use. So all right, man. This was fun.
That was fun. I enjoy it.
Next Monday, same time, same place.
Same time, same place. Y'all like NFL, and y'all, what's your favorite NFL team? Real quick.
Don't care about NFL, but when I root for someone, it's the Panthers. So
Panthers. Okay.
Not a Chiefs fan, not a Cowboys fan. Can't be doing it. Root for the Panthers. So, and they're like under 500. They're 8-9. So,
well, they just no, they didn't. We barely squeaked out. I'm a Baker Mayfield fan, so Tampa Bay. It's kind of like the Thunder. They started out hot, and now they're not even in the playoffs because they beat the Panthers.
I know.
For the
yeah, sad.
And then
it happens.
All right, man.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll see y'all next Monday, 7 p.m. CST. Bye.